They're back in the rankings at number 22 in both polls after yet another successful trip to Lincoln, Nebraska. Memorial Stadium, Mack Brown, Bo Pelini. Last time they were together on the field, we all know what happened back in Arlington. Just wait 1 second. The Jumbotron says finish for Nebraska. 308th consecutive sellout. That streak's still mind-boggling. It goes back to 1962. Right out of the gates, the Longhorns rattle the freshman quarterback, Taylor Martinez. That turns into an intentional grounding call, and the Longhorns were in business, and then they pull out a wrinkle that nobody expected, and that was planned runs for Garrett Gilbert, including that scamper that set up the first points of the game, a field goal. Meantime, more Texas defense on the running game. Roy Halou Jr. hit by Eddie Jones. Keenan Robinson picks it up, and that leads to more Garrett Gilbert. Get this, Gilbert comes into the game with 14 net rushing yards on the season. Yesterday, not only 2 touchdowns, but 71 yards through the ground. Here, a hard run into Nebraska territory, and then another called run. Little rollout fake. Gilbert scampers in. Touchdown, Texas. And before we move on, let's talk about that running game. Now, of course, when we talk Texas running quarterbacks, we start with old number 10.
Not too many. I don't know if you can even compare it to Vince. He's moving quite a bit faster than Vince. No, absolutely not. I mean, I feel comfortable with it. It was just it was a little bigger part of the game plan this week. So, again, the offensive line did a great job opening up some creases there, and we were able to, find some yards in there.
We've been encouraging Garrett to get more yards with his feet, and he did that today. He did it on quarterback draw, he did it on sprint, he did it on scramble, and he made some key plays. He's a big, strong guy.
Now back to the quarterback who was supposed to run all over Texas, Taylor Martinez. 147 yards per game, 4th in the nation. How about 13 carries, 21 yards? Keenan Robinson, top tackler. He had Martinez's number. Meantime, Gilbert, on the other hand, struggled throwing the football, but he did complete 4 passes. That one, 41 yards to Fozzie Whitaker, 41 of his 62 yards. But then Cody Johnson, hard running down to the one, as I mentioned. Gilbert, 2 touchdowns rushing. But then things start to go south on defense with injuries. Keenan Robinson out with a head injury, didn't play in the second half. Kenny Vaccaro, same thing. As for Martinez, did have some bad luck. 3 big drops, including that one from Niles Paul. The other aspect of this game that was so key for Texas, their special teams. Justin Tucker with that directional rugby punt twice, pinning Nebraska inside the 5-yard line. And after that punt and a Nebraska punt, Tucker converts on his second field goal, and the Longhorns were in control. Meantime, the Huskers go to Zach Lee. Remember, Zach Lee was the quarterback last year, trying to give Nebraska a spark. More Texas defense. Now, Lee did add a little something to the offense, but on 4th and 18, another drop. That one by Brandon Kinney. So the Longhorns take over. They go for the little pooch punt out of the field goal set, and they never dreamed this would happen. Leading it 20-6 rather. Eric Haig goes the distance, 94 yards. Again, those are all blockers in there for a field goal, so not set to tackle. Longhorns see it backfire. So what will Nebraska do? 3 minutes to go, 2 timeouts, down by 7. You know Texas is going to run the ball if you kick it deep. Instead, they go for the onside kick. Alex Henry's one of the best, but not a great onside kick. Marquise Goodwin picks it up, and then the Longhorns still have to run out the clock. They need a first down to avoid giving it back to Nebraska, and this is the kind of running game Mack Brown was talking about this summer. Running when you need to run, and Cody Johnson certainly does that. 11 carries, 73 yards. That one helped put it away. Longhorns' 4th straight trip to Lincoln in the Big 12, and 4th time they come away with victory as Texas improves to 4-2, and they get back in several conversations with a huge road victory.
I think one of the reasons that we've had success against Nebraska is because we have such great respect for them, and our teams feel that. And when you play this team, it's really special. It's like playing Oklahoma. There aren't many people that you can play, and we told the guys this may be the last Texas-Nebraska game in the history of college football. And what an opportunity for you. to remember this the rest of your life that you were there.
Oh, it's great. Just not even because they're in the top 5. Just anytime we play Nebraska or our team with so much history, you know, as we're walking outside the tunnels to the game, we see all the games they've won and all the national championships. So it's just motivation right there to bring your A game.
We had one focus, and that was to get back on track. You know, we weren't worried about all the hoorah. We weren't worried about all that other stuff. But, you know, we lost 2 games straight. It was time to get back to Texas standard.
It comes down to great execution. We told the players before the games it will come down to execution and tackle. We execute, we tackle, we win. And that's what we did.
We came into this game ready to believe that, you know, we're a good team and we're able to show the world that we still able to play. And it's one of those things that, you know, we're going to build up off of and keep fueling ourselves into the oncoming weeks. They're
trying so hard to come together and grow up, and a lot of times when you've got older ones and younger ones, they don't mix very well at first. And I do think they're growing up, and we told them that this is a waste unless we go back and win next week. I think we can win the rest of the games if we play good each week, and we can also go out there, and if we stink, we'll lose them all. I mean, that's the kind of year we're going to have. We're going to have to play good. We're not a gimme team.
This was a day filled with mixed emotion for Mack Brown. His wife Sally's brother passed away late in the week, and she was not at the game for the first time since they've been at Texas. Now the Longhorns are home for 5 of their final 6 regular season games beginning Saturday with Iowa State. Cyclones with quite a back-to-back set of games. They got blown out against Oklahoma last night, and that's part of the reason that the Sooners, no team has spent more time at number 1 since the BCS standings were born than Oklahoma. And even though they're not number 1 in either poll, they are number 1 in the first BCS standings of the year. Of course, Oklahoma beat Florida State and Texas, and those victories certainly don't hurt. Oregon, Boise State will be interesting to watch how Boise State and TCU go. Auburn and LSU play this week, and then the highest-ranked Big Ten team, surprise, surprise, Michigan State.